and welcome back to a new video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about outfits from the 83rd annual Golden Globes, or the Golden Globes that happened in 2026, except that in this video we are going to be doing it a little bit different. In the past I did some like best dress. Oh, there's a thunder, it's about to rain, sorry. But in the past I talked about some of my favorite outfits from the Golden Globes, but in this year we are going to pick one outfit from the Golden Globe, and then I'm going to recommend you a book because we are doing it in a more Carol fashion. And if you are new here, hi, I'm Carol, and in this channel we talk mostly about books, but I think we might need to go back to talking a little bit more about fashions to make this channel even more Carol coded. And also Happy New Year, because this is the first video that I'm filming in 2026, and that it is going to be published in 2026, because the other video I published so far this year, I kind of filmed it last year. So Happy New Year! And let's start talking about some outfits from the 83rd Golden Globes. The first outfit we have to talk about today is Jennifer Lawrence in Givenchy by Sarah Burton. By the way, if I look down here, it's because, as always, I have my notes, but basically Jennifer Lawrence wore this sheer dress, kind of sheer with flowers embroidered throughout her dress, and she had this thing, I don't know if it is a puffer or just like a blanket of sorts, but also kind of like a puffer going down her arms. And personally I really enjoyed this outfit. When I look closely, there are some things about it that I think could have been a little bit better. I think the dress could fit a little bit better on Jennifer Lawrence, but overall I really liked this outfit. I thought it was really cool. I know she was nominated for a movie called, I think, Die My Baby. I haven't watched this movie, and I haven't watched most of the movies or shows nominated for the Golden Globes this year, so I don't know what references some of these outfits might contain. But sticking to the theme of this video, Jennifer Lawrence was wearing a dress that was full of flowers, and a book that I have to recommend you. If you like this outfit, you might enjoy Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. In this book we follow Annie. She owns a flower shop in a very small town called Rome in Kentucky, and you can already guess where most of my inspiration for recommending this book to you, in case you like this outfit, comes from. It's because Annie loves flowers, and this is a romance novel where Annie will have a romance with Will. He's her sister-in-law's bodyguard, and Annie, she's kind of socially awkward, she's very anxious when it comes to dating, and Will kind of becomes her dating coach. And Will also, he likes flowers. He has a giant tattoo of magnolias down his arm and a butterfly tattoo on his hand, so he also really enjoys flowers. And Practice Makes Perfect is a romance between the two. I personally really enjoyed this book. I found the dynamic between the characters to be really endearing and really nice to read about, and I had a lot of fun reading this book. And I think because this book has a very strong flower theme, with Annie being a florist and owning a flower shop, and also Will having a strong connection with magnolias and having a flower tattoo on his arm, I feel like kind of matches with the outfit Jennifer Lawrence was wearing during the Golden Globes. The second outfit I have to talk about in today's video is Selena Gomez. She was wearing a custom Chanel piece. She was wearing a column dress that it was just a simple black column dress, but on top there were a lot of white feathers. Apparently it took around 323 hours to make this gown, to make this custom dress for Selena Gomez, and also it involves over 200 embroidered elements to the outfit. And personally it was one of my favorite outfits from the Golden Globes. The moment I saw it on Instagram, I opened my Instagram and I initially saw her makeup look that her makeup artist posted. It was amazing, the makeup, and then I saw the outfit, and I also think this is an amazing outfit in terms of styling and also the style of the dress and with the makeup. I just really enjoyed this outfit. But looking at it, I was trying to find a book that would match this outfit, because I just wanted to include it in this video. And this outfit it feels simple but also very extra, very fancy, very sophisticated, and overall again very fancy and expensive. And I was trying to think of a book that might match this vibe, and I thought about The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is a book that talks about, it's kind of makes fun of the high society, the cafe society from around the 1920s, the post-war society in the United States, in New York. And in The Beautiful and the Damned, we follow this couple who they essentially live way above their means, and they meet at a party. The two, the only thing they can think about is partying and showing their wealth, and they seem like a very healthy, happy couple with a lot of money, but in reality things are not how it seems. They are living way above their means. Their marriage is poisoned by the use of excessive alcohol. This outfit just kind of reminded me of that book, just because for me it looks so fancy, and I personally really liked this outfit, and I wanted to find a book that would kind of talk with it, and this was the closest one I could think about. And then there's another outfit I just wanted to include in this video, and I'm going to recommend the same book because this outfit also is very like 20s feeling, and I thought maybe we could recommend one book for these two outfits, and it is Zoe Deutsch in Prada. I just absolutely love this outfit, from the dress itself, the composition of the outfit. This is an outfit that it has a lot of things that could make it not work, but it does work. The dress works, the way it was made, the way it was designed, it looks really nice, and also it looks great on Zoe Deutsch. And I would also add The Beautiful and the Damned for this outfit, just because, again, very 20s feel. The next outfit I have to talk about in this video is Poppy Liu in Rodarte, I believe, and this is just a black sheer dress with an empire waistline. And the reason I decided to put this outfit in this video, and it's because I have a book to recommend too based on this outfit. This was the outfit that I thought would be the easiest to recommend a book about it, because it's an empire waistline dress, so, and it's also sheers, which adds a layer of sexiness to the dress, to the outfit. So I have two books to recommend to you. One is Bridgerton, because whenever I see an empire waistline gown nowadays, I think of Bridgerton. So you have those books you can read. But the main book I would like to recommend is Persuasion by Jane Austen, and the reason I'm recommending Persuasion is because I don't want to recommend Pride and Prejudice. But Persuasion by Jane Austen would be a good book to read if you like this outfit. So basically, in Persuasion, we follow Anne Elliot. She's the daughter of this baronet who he's again living way above his means. Her family used to be very wealthy, but because of her father's not great financial decisions, they are now going to rent out their house because they're not doing great financially. But the main part of the story is that in the past, when she was around 17 years old, Anne met a man called Frederick Wentworth. They fell in love, they got engaged, but Anne's family didn't really approve of Captain Wentworth, of Frederick Wentworth, because he didn't have a title and he wasn't particularly wealthy, and also has this very important woman in her life who used to be the best friend from her late mother, and she also didn't really approve of Captain Wentworth, of Frederick Wentworth, because of his social status and because he wasn't very wealthy. He wasn't as rich as them. Now, many years later, Anne is 27 years old. Apparently, she's not as pretty as she used to be. And her family is in this situation where they're not doing well financially, and they decide to rent out their house in the countryside. And while her family goes to live in Bath for a while they're renting out this house, Anne stays with her sister for a while. Her sister lives in the neighborhood, and Anne ends up meeting with the tenants of her family's home. And turns out that the people renting out her family home is the sister of Frederick Wentworth and her husband. So Anne's former lovers ends up being around the neighborhood, and they end up reconnecting. And the story is basically a second chance romance. And the reason why I'm recommending this book based on this outfit, it's because this book takes place right between the Napoleonic Wars, so like 1814, which was an era where this kind of outfit, this kind of silhouette was really popular. The next outfit I have to talk about in this video is Ariana Grande. She was wearing a custom Vivienne Westwood couture outfit. I'm not sure if this book has any sort of reference to Wicked, because I'm going to be honest, again, I haven't watched Wicked. But the first thing I thought when I saw this book was kind of gothic literature. It is black, has this curve, the silhouette feels very 1850s. Is this the right era? Am I getting the right era? Or I don't know, I forgot to write it down, the exact era I was thinking about. But basically, when I look at this outfit, if I'm going to recommend a book, I'm going to recommend one of my personal literary nemesis, which is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, a book that has been very hyped up recently because of the movie. But basically, in Wuthering Heights, we follow, how to explain it? It's a book about cycles of abuse and just toxic people. The story starts with Heathcliff and Catherine. They meet when they are children, and Catherine's father essentially adopts Heathcliff, who is probably not white. From the way Emily Bronte writes, he's implied to be not white, or at least racially ambiguous. And basically, Heathcliff is not very... because he's not white and he's adopted, things for him are not the best when it comes to the social standing, and the fact that he also doesn't have the best behavior doesn't help him. But as children, Heathcliff and Catherine, they form these very strong friendships, they're kind of like in love with each other. And one day, Catherine suffers an accident. She ends up staying on time with this other family, they're a neighboring family, who are all white, they fit all the beauty standards, they are wealthier, and she becomes friends with them, but they don't like Heathcliff. And then there's this tension between Catherine and Heathcliff, and the tension grows even more when, as they grow up, Catherine decides to marry the boy from this other family and not Heathcliff, and Heathcliff overhears what's going on, why Catherine decided to marry the other guy. And then there's a time jump where Heathcliff, he disappears and he shows up many years later in possession of a fortune no one really knows where it came from, and he's basically going to torment Catherine and her husband. And then because tormenting Catherine and her husband isn't enough, he decides to also torment Catherine's daughter. And this book is basically a tale of cycles of abuse. And I think Ariana Grande's outfit matches this book just because it feels like very gothic and very of the time, and very gothic, which is kind of the same vibes as this book is. Wuthering Heights is basically a book that has a toxic man that has this crazy revenge plot against the love of his life, who also happens to be extremely toxic, and it is very gothic. So I think this book matches the outfit. And for the last outfit in this video, we have Ayo Edebiri, and she's wearing a Chanel look. I think it's from the Métier d'Art collection. I remember seeing in an interview that she gave that Ayo and her stylist, they saw this outfit, this dress coming out the runway, and they said, I won't wear that, I will wear that dress. So she's wearing it to the Golden Globes. And the reason I decided to add this outfit to this video is not only because I think it's a really pretty outfit, it's also because I will recommend the better Bronte book in my opinion, and it is Jane Eyre. This outfit is also like black and kind of gothic in a way. Not exactly. I'm using it as an excuse to recommend you reading Jane Eyre, which I believe is the superior Bronte sister book. In Jane Eyre, we are basically following this young woman called Jane. She grew up in a household where her parents passed away when she was young, and she was raised by her aunt, who wasn't the greatest, and then her aunt sent her to live in this boarding school, which was also not the greatest. And as Jane grows up, she decides she wants to become a little bit more independent. She used to be working at the boarding school as a teacher, so then she gets a job as a governess or as a tutor to this young child in this kind of mysterious Gothic manor in England. And there in the manor, she meets the mysterious owner of the manor, who is much older than her, and I'm going to leave it at that. This book is amazing. It's a book, Genere is a book where you can read it as a romance, a dark romance, as a thriller, a coming of age story. It's just one of the best books I ever read. It's a book that, again, it does so many things. It's a classic that I find to be not very difficult to read, and just, it was such a wonderful read, and I believe it is the superior Bronte sister book, so I'm recommending it. Since I recommended my personal nemesis Wuthering Heights, I'm going to recommend as well my favorite Bronte sister book, which is Jane Eyre, and if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend you reading, especially if you like Gothic literature and like Gothic aesthetic. You might really enjoy this book. Like, there was a weird noise coming from the attic, and Jane didn't find it that weird. The plot twist about the weird noises from the attic, if you know, you know. If you don't, I recommend you trying to figure out what the mystery is. And yes, that's it for this video. What was your favorite outfit from the 2026 Golden Globes Award? Personally, my favorites were Selena Gomez and Jennifer Lawrence. I also have some other outfits that I didn't add to this video that I really enjoyed just because I didn't know about a book to recommend you based on them. But yes, this is it for this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this on your subscription box, and I hope to see you in another video very soon. Bye!